Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. A praise dance presented by Zakira Jackson and spirit-filled music presented by the choir filled the emotional and spiritual cup of those attending the 26th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Awards ceremony at Morning Chapel Missionary Baptist Church Monday night. The event saw over 100 individuals honored for their contributions and commitment to life in Hopkins County. Dr. Ray Keck III, President and CEO of Texas A&M University Commerce, served as Master of Ceremonies for the celebration of King's life, achievements, and inspiration and motivation given to the lives of others. Guest speaker for the evening, Dr. Kenneth Rock Clinton, retired professor of sociology and criminal justice at Texas A&M University Commerce, encouraged communication as he spoke of the civil rights journey of Dr. King and the lessons that can be learned from that journey. Clinton remembered with emotion the woman that cared for him and his brother and the day in her house she introduced him to Dr. King using a picture of King that she kept by her bedside. In the study of the notes of Dr. King, Clinton stated that the work King did was not done in a time of first choice or a time of second choice, but was performed in the time of the only choice. He stated that King learned from the mistakes of his early attempts to promote civil rights. He noted that the nonviolent demonstration in Birmingham, Alabama in 1963 was a turning point for the civil rights movement. He stated that the March on Washington, D.C., which involved a number of civil rights groups, attracted politicians to the movement and to the struggle. Dr. King's time in Chicago also awakened King to the fact that segregation was not only a problem in the South, but in every corner of the nation. In his focus on poverty, Dr. King also spoke out against the war in Vietnam. In a moment of humor, Dr. Clinton pointed out the fact that many of Dr. King's friends thought he wasn't called to preach, but that he was only looking for something to keep him out of the cotton patch. Students at Douglas Intermediate School, along with their teacher, Sylvester Alexander, presented essays that they had written on Dr. King's life. The students were supported by Alexander. Businessmen and those in government spoke as well. Local banks, represented by their leadership, Tom Sellers, Mick Trusty, and Brandon Williams, County Judge Robert Newsom, Justice of the Peace Brad Cummings, and Commissioner Wade Bartley participated in the event with prayer, scripture, and greetings. Dr. Lavelle Hendricks, pastor of East Caney Baptist Church and organizer of the first MLK Awards event, spoke of that event before presenting the various awards. Dr. Hendricks stated that before a full worship center that the first awards event had only 9 individuals present. He reviewed the growth of the event and the purpose of the event in its encouragement of seeking social justice and Christ-like righteousness in life. Hopkins County has 5 4-H clubs: Arbela Harvest, Dyke, Infinity, Miller Grove, and Pause, a school-based club, and a Vet Science Special Interest Group as well. Johanna Hicks tells us about 4-H in Hopkins County and a special event that they have planned for Saturday, January 28th.
We have some really interesting things coming up on Saturday, January 28th. It's actually a combination of several different things. We're going to start that morning at 10 o'clock with our Sewing Fun Day. Every year we have a sewing workshop, and this year I'm very, very excited about our projects. We're going to make Alzheimer's activity mats. And it's just large enough to fit in a lap, and we're going to put zippers and buttons and lots of manipulatives on it, because I know my dad had Alzheimer's, and he really enjoyed doing things with his hands, zippers and things. And so I thought, well, since our 4-Hers have a heart for the community, we would tie in our sewing project with a community service activity. Also, I told the kids if they want to work on their projects for the County 4-H Fashion Show, which is coming up in the end of February, they can go ahead and bring their pattern and fabric, and I'll help them get started on that. So anyway, that's where we're going to start the day, is on Saturday the 28th at 10 o'clock with our sewing projects.
Yeah, well, you were talking about the Alzheimer's project.
Yes.
Are you going to be giving those to specific people or specific groups? Or?
We will probably start with Terrific Tuesdays and visit with Joyce McDonald and perhaps she would like to keep them with her, and when they have downtime she can pull those out, but that's probably where we'll start. Another project that I'm hoping we can work on, and I need to find out more information, but it's called Squares and Prayers, and these are little pocket size quilts that are passed on from person to person, and every little tie that's put in it, it's a tied quilt rather than a machine stitch, and every little tie that's put in it, a prayer is said for the recipient, and then they pass it to the next person and they put a tie in it and pray for the recipient, and then they're brought back on a specific day, and then they're distributed to people that may be going through chemotherapy, maybe they've lost a loved one. And I know that Judy Moore with the Community Chest, she's the one that shared the idea with us. So I'm going to be corresponding with her more. But I thought that would be another good community service project, a very simple one that our kids could do that same morning, just making a little simple, not really a quilt, but more like a hanky. So I think that would be a really good thing for us to do, and when we give it to the recipient, we'll tell them that each knot in the quilt represents a prayer that was sent up on their behalf.
Good.
And then after our sewing morning, we're going to break for lunch, and then the afternoon events are going to be a lot of fun. We're doing a project called the Food Challenge, and if anyone has ever watched Chopped on Food Network, it's a lot like that, because we will provide the ingredients and the amounts of each ingredient to teams of kids, and we'll probably have 3 or 4 per team. We'll give them the ingredients, and they have to create a dish using those ingredients. No instructions. It doesn't tell them how to make it, what they're making. So they have to kind of use their creativity. Now, we won't have really strange ingredients like some of the ones on the TV network, but it will force them to kind of use their creativity, to work as a team, to exercise their food safety skills. And then once they have completed their dish, then they will do a presentation on the steps of preparation, which food groups are represented in the recipe, some of the food safety issues that they dealt with. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. And then also that afternoon we're doing a consumer decision-making contest. Or it's not really a contest, but it's an introduction. And, you know, everybody shops eventually, even if it's just to buy a pair of shoes or to buy a basketball. And so this helps our kids learn how to make those wise decisions. And I'll give you an example using backpacks. So the kids are given a scenario, and it may say Johnny is a junior in high school and he plays soccer, but he also enjoys hiking and camping, so he needs an all-purpose backpack that has place for a water bottle, a cell phone, and then enough to carry a change of clothes. But he only has this much money to spend. So which of these 4 backpacks is the best choice? And then they are presented with 4 choices, and it'll give a description of the backpack, how much it cost, its attributes, and the kids have to select the best one and rank them from 1 to 4, giving reasons as to why they did that. So we'll have several different scenarios set up around the room, and we'll let the kiddos practice that, because we do have our district contests coming up in March. So I think it'll be a fun event for the kids.
A lot of practicality in what you're doing with these kids. And when we talk about education, you know, the practicum is a very vital part of it.
That is correct. And that's what we do in 4-H. We try to teach kids skills that they can carry throughout their life. I know that some high school classes, you know, FCCLA, they teach some basics, but the smaller schools may not be able to teach things like that. And so I feel like our 4-H program might sometimes fill in the gaps and teach kids very practical things. And I was bragging in the newspaper about some of our 4-Hers that have excelled through 4-H. They have gotten $10,000 scholarships. They've gone on to be excellent businessmen and women. Some have gone on to be teachers. And it all started because of some of their experiences in 4-H.
When you look at 4-H, how widespread in the county are the clubs or the organizations?
Well, actually, this. We were meeting with a lady just recently, and we were telling her about our 4-H program. We have 5 clubs here in the county. We have one that meets at Arbela, one that meets at Miller Grove, one that meets at the Dyke Community Center. We have a school-based club at the 3rd and 4th grade campus here in Sulphur Springs called PAWS. And then we have the Infinity 4-H club that meets here at our extension office. So we have 5 clubs that pretty much encompass the whole county. We don't have one at Como-Picton, but we do have one that's at Arbela, so that's kind of close.
Age-wise, what's the average age of a young person in 4-H today?
Well, official 4-H age is grade 3 through 12. By the time they hit high school, we tend to lose them because they become so involved in sports and UIL, extracurricular activities. But we do still have some that follow through, and those are the ones that really excel and get the 4-H scholarships. But we do have a good participation in all age ranges, all the way from grade 3 through 12. We also have a Clover Kids program, and that is for younger kids that are between the ages of 5 and 7, basically first and second grade. And they can still participate on the county level. They just can't go on to district contests because we don't have an age division for that younger group. So really, kiddos that are interested in it, and this is something else that I always like to share. You know, people always think, well, you have to have an animal to be in 4-H. And that is a misconception that we have been battling for years. Right. Because over half of our 4-H kiddos don't have an animal project. Now that's the project that gets a lot of publicity because of the junior market show that we have coming up in February. And then we have the fall livestock show, and so it gets a lot of publicity. But actually, livestock projects are on down in the list of most popular. And I don't have the list in front of me, but the most popular project is Foods and Nutrition, followed by horticulture, gardening and such. Also, clothing and textiles is in the top 5. Shooting sports is in the top 5. And then I think coming in number 6 here in Hopkins County is the beef project. So, projects that you wouldn't normally think of as being popular are the most popular ones, not only here in Hopkins County, but statewide. Foods and Nutrition is the number 1 project across the state.
So we're talking life skills here.
That's right. Absolutely.
They will take this with them no matter what age.
That's right. And the way we divide our 4-H responsibilities here in Hopkins County, of course, my background is family and consumer sciences. And so I work with the kiddos in all the foods and clothing projects, public speaking and educational presentations, the consumer decision making. And then Mario, my coworker, he works with the kiddos that have the animal projects. And he also helps with shooting sports, which is growing in popularity. So we kind of have a division of powers, but we do work together in all major county events.
Specific training for volunteers who work with the clubs, lead the clubs?
Well, we do have what we call club managers, and those are the people that are kind of in charge of their club. And we work closely with them. You know, we'll send out newsletters, and we give them guidance, you know, as to events and things. Really, you don't have to have special training to help in 4-H. We always love our volunteers. Some leaders lean more towards the food and clothing projects. Some leaders may lean more toward gardening and photography, while others may lean more toward animals. And so we plug them in where they feel the strongest or the areas that they're most interested in.
For someone who wants to get involved in 4-H as a leader or as have their children involved, what's the first point of contact?
Well, the first thing they'll need to do is get enrolled. Our 4-H year goes from September 1st through August 31st, so we're already well into our 4-H year. All enrollment is done online, and so they can contact us and we'll give them the website. And there's a $25 enrollment fee, and that will be good, until the end of the 4-H year. And once they register online, then that will put them on our mailing list. We send out newsletters and project notices. As a matter of fact, this is the notice that just went out last week, telling about our Saturday Sewing Fun Day Food Challenge and Consumer Decision Making Contest. And so they'll get all of our announcements, newsletters, and they'll have the opportunity to participate in anything they want to as far as 4-H.
Tonight, expect showers and thunderstorms with cloud-to-ground lightning. 100% chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight. Our low this evening will be around 46. Our wind from the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. On Wednesday, the chance of precipitation is also 100%, decreasing to 30% Wednesday night. High Wednesday 56, low around 48, and calm north winds. Here's Don Julian with sports.
Wildcats and Lady Cats basketball teams play Greenville on this Tuesday game day. The Wildcats will be trying to get back into the win column at Greenville after Friday night's home loss to Mount Pleasant. The loss dropped the Wildcats into second place. They are 3-1 in district play and 18-5 for the season. The Lions have been known to rise to the occasion at home. They defeated Longview on their home court last season, and the Wildcats lost there in 2015. Head coach Clark Cipolletta's Wildcat teams are 3-1 against Greenville. Meanwhile, Lady Cats basketball team will be playing the Greenville Lady Lions in Wildcats Gym on Tuesday, and the game marks the start of the second half of district play. The Lady Cats are 6-0 in district play, and their season record 20-3. The Lady Cats won the first game this year against Greenville 40-17 at Greenville. Coach Chapman's Lady Cats teams are 9-0 against Greenville.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.